guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm very happy to have you here with me today. For my returning subscribers, thank you. Thanks for sticking with me. I do appreciate all of the comments and the likes. It really does mean a lot. And to new viewers, I hope that you enjoy the reading today. And if you do, please subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be notified when I upload new videos. For today's reading, we'll be looking at the energy surrounding us on the weekend of January 5th through January 7th, 2018. So this is an extended weekend reading. Look at it, just this first weekend in January. I'll be pulling 3 cards from the Sun and Moon Tarot deck, plus 1 card from the bottom of the deck for the overall energy for the weekend. And I'll also be using the Earth Magic Oracle card deck just for additional guidance, so 1 card from that deck as well. Just to remind everybody, these are general readings, so the messages may or may not resonate with you. The only way for you to get a really personalized reading would be to get a private reading with me. If you're interested, you can take a look at my site. There you'll find information about pricing and the types of readings that I offer. My site is changingphasestarot.weebly.com. Or you could email me. My email is changingphasestarot@gmail.com. Right, okay, so let's get into the reading. So we're looking for the energy surrounding us on the weekend of January 5th through January 7th, 2018. What do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us on the weekend of January 5th through the 7th, 2018. Shows messages for the weekend. Okay, nothing flying out. January 5th through the 7th. Okay. Lots of cards came out there. No, we have cards just going everywhere. Okay, so they don't want to shuffle it anymore. All right. Ooh, so the card that came flying out, very nice. We have Major Arcana number 1, the Magician, followed by the Queen of Cups, and the outbound energy for the weekend, we have the Devil. Major Arcana, number 15. And let's see. Card at the bottom of the deck. The 3 of Wands. Alright, and 1 additional card from the Earth Magic deck. Spirit, what do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us on the weekend of January 5th through 7th, 2018. January 5th through 7th, 2018. Okay, that one wanted to come out as well. The card is Iceberg, Submerged. Let me hold that up so you can see the image. Alright, give me 1 second. Let me just arrange the cards so we can see them a little better, and I'll be right back with the reading. Alright, so as you can see, I did pull, when I was positioning the cards, I pulled clarifiers on the Devil card, and I used the Afro-Brazilian Tarot for that. And I'll show you those when we get to the card, just because, I just wanted to get a little bit more information about the Devil card at the end of the reading. Okay, so we'll begin with the 3 of Wands. This is the overall energy for the weekend. And in this deck, the 3 of Wands is called Virtue. This deck has slightly different readings. I mean, each deck is a little different. The main message for the card is the same, but each deck does have, different interpretations, sometimes different messages attached to the card. But in general, the Suit of Wands, it speaks of creativity. It speaks of our determination, our strength, our ambition. It's the day-to-day sort of the daily matters, the day-to-day things that we deal with. So it's the job that we do. It's our drive and ambition, to do that job. And it's, it's also linked with creativity, creative projects. And the Three of Wands, typically the Three of Wands has to do with exploration. It's a card that has to do, it's sort of a card of expansive energy, adventure, endless possibilities, foresight. Sometimes it can mean like a business partnership, so partnering up with somebody else, so there's another person involved. In the traditional tarot, the man, he's staring out at sea, looking across the water, which is interesting because we have the iceberg as your earth magic card, water, but usually he's staring across the water, waiting for his ships to come in, right? Looking out across the horizon, kind of waiting to see what rewards are coming in, when his ship will come in with the rewards, for all of the, time and hard work and passion and energy that person has put into whatever that creative endeavor was. So, he or she has invested a lot of time in it and is really waiting to receive what, type of return on that time invested he or she will get. In this particular deck, the card is called Virtue, and it has to do with, yes, it also has to do with, creativity and activity, but it also has to do with exciting job offers or, moving into a more powerful position within the company if you're working in a company. It has to do with new direction, so heading off in a new direction. If we think about the man looking over the sea, right, looking out to sea, this could have to do with, something at a distance, something across water or by water. But the person here, you see that he's juggling the three torches. So, it also has to do with remaining, playful and remaining, youthful and creative as you're dealing with whatever this new thing is. So that's the overall energy for the weekend. We'll see how it ties in with everything else as we go through the reading. But you begin with the Magician. Now, this is a wonderful card to have, right? Because the Magician is very powerful energy. And actually, out of the 4 cards, 2 of them are major arcanas, the Magician and the Devil. So this is a very powerful message coming in for the weekend. The Magician card, he is somebody who has everything that he needs to, achieve, to manifest what he wants in life, right? He's, yes, there's some divine timing associated with him, right? But it really has to do with, having the tools that he needs, having everything, also, tapping into the divine, understanding that there is this, this partnership between man and the divine in order to manifest, the things that we want in life. And you see that he's sort of pointing up here, right? And what he's pointing up at, there are many different things symbolized up here. With, we have the cup symbolizing communication of feelings. There's the wand symbolizing, philosophical, spiritual arenas. We have the coin symbolizing material or financial fields. There's also other symbols on here talking about formulating ideas, talking about balance. So there are lots of, this card does, it's hard to see, I think, on camera, but there are a lot of different symbols included on the card. But the main message of the Magician is really, having everything at your fingertips, really having what you need to achieve, to manifest what you want, right? Harnessing the power of the universe to really manifest our desires is what the card is all about, which is great. Powerful energy to come into the weekend with. The next card is the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is, when the court cards appear, they can be people that we're dealing with. So this might be an older water sign female individual that you're dealing with, or who might be significant during this weekend. If it is, it would typically be, a water sign individual, usually older, right? It's a queen, but it doesn't necessarily have to be female, right? In the general readings, they're not gender specific, but it could be a Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer individual. And this person is usually very loving, very caring, very open. She's somebody who, she loves to take care of other people. She's just a very loving individual, very caring type. She's kind of that nurturer, the caregiver, very compassionate. So this could be, an actual person, or this could be you taking on the energy of this Queen of Cups. So you might be feeling, more compassionate, right? Showing more love in a situation. You might be, you see here that's interesting. Look at the reflection on the water. You can see how the moon, right? We have the moon being reflected, right? The reflections indicating this sort of as above, so below. So she's also a very intuitive individual, right? The Queen of Cups. The suit of Cups is the suit of emotions. It deals with our feelings, our emotions, but it also has to do with our intuition, right? And for her, sort of the feminine cycles, intuition. So this might be you, taking on this energy of the Queen of Cups as you are dealing with a situation over the weekend, which leads us to the Devil card. Now, the Devil card, it can be a little challenging, right? Because usually the card, it has to do with ties, right? We can kind of think of those attachment or ties to earthly things, right? Earthly desires, temptation, being bound to something. Sometimes it appears if you're in an unhealthy situation, right? Or if you refuse to see something for what it is. So if you're in one of those toxic relationships, kind of seeing that it's toxic, seeing that it's not good for you, but feeling bound to it, like you can't escape it, you can't get away from it, or refusing to see it for what it really is, right? Maybe you're in the relationship and other people are telling you, that person is no good for you, the person is treating you like this, that, or the other, and you don't want to see it. So, there's always this it's something unhealthy that sometimes it appears if you're dealing with some type of addiction, and this doesn't necessarily have to be, drug addiction or alcohol addiction. People have all kinds of addictions nowadays. This could be being addicted to food, or being addicted to working out too much, or what else, working too much. I mean, there are all kinds of addictions. Gaming too much. I mean, there's whatever it is, or however it plays out in your life, the Devil has to do with those ties, right? And yes, it's linked with the sign of Capricorn, the Devil card, but more than anything, it has to do with these attachments, and it also has to do with kind of the dark side of ourselves, right? Or the shadow side, and how we can't really find complete freedom in life, right, without examining our dark side first. So, and you see that the card, it does kind of, it looks like the Lovers here in the middle, right? We sort of have this couple in the middle, but they can release themselves. If you see how they're holding, let me hold this up so you can see them. See how they have their arms kind of locked there behind their backs, and it's like, it kind of makes me feel like the Eight of Swords sort of energy, where they feel as if they're trapped, but they're really not. They could easily just untangle their arms and walk away, get out of that situation, or get away from this devil figure, but they don't. And there's this, you see, there's a web, this web of illusion that's surrounding them as well. So yes, this devil, the attachment, it's kind of forcing them to stay there. But he's also kind of forcing them to really to confront more than that, right? To confront their inner demons, confront their dark side, their fears, their obsessions, which is interesting because the card that popped out as the from the Earth Magic deck, it also has to do with that. So actually, let me read you that one, and then I'll come back to the clarifiers on the devil, because it really ties in with the message that we had here for the devil. So the iceberg card, and I'll read you this one just from the book. I like to read the whole meaning from the guidebook. I'll cut out one part of it because it's quite long, but it, basically just talks about, how many of us have heard stories of these ill-fated ships that have, had these tragic encounters with ice mountains. And even though you can see the top part of the iceberg easily, right, there's still this massive body below the water that is oftentimes unable to see, right? So it's talking about that, right? All of that it remains unseen and can fool us and perhaps be dangerous or damaging. So the card says, whatever you suppress or deny and attempt to keep out of conscious awareness will show up somewhere and somehow. These are your shadow aspects. So here we have the devil with these shadow aspects and facing the shadow aspects. At one time, you put them out of your consciousness for good reason, yet they remain contained by shame and guilt. Sometimes these submerged aspects of yourself are projected onto others so that they mirror those denied or suppressed parts of you, and you may even harshly judge these characteristics when they are exhibited. Now is the time to allow these elements to surface and embrace them. These may make up some sort of self-expression, a secret dream you wish to accomplish, or even uglier aspects that are difficult to acknowledge or accept. Whatever you have submerged deep inside of you, this is your opportunity to pay attention to those things and welcome them to the family called you. So I think that, the message that goes along with this card really does tie in with this, the shadow side or facing and releasing your fears and whatever this is that might be keeping you back. And I feel that it's very much tied to, even though the magician here appears in the past position, I feel that this magician, is linked to this, whatever this new thing and this expansion and new opportunities of the Three of Wands, that, you have everything there to manifest that. But for some reason, there is this something that's holding you back. And so the clarifiers that came out on the devil card, we have that this is, I told you, it's from the Afro-Brazilian Tarot. This would be like the page of Pentacles. Let me hold this up so you can see. It's the Knave of Pentacles, so it would be like the page. This is number 7 of the Major Arcana, so this would be the Chariot card. I love those. I love the image of this card. And the last card is the Nine of Wands. So, looking at these 3 clarifiers on the Devil card, and again, like I was saying, each deck has, slightly different meanings. With this particular deck, so beginning with the Knave of Pentacles, this card has to do with new paths. So it does, it does really echo back to this Three of Wands over here, and that there is something new. It's like it's trying to come in here for you, right? This new paths. And usually the Page of Pentacles, it would be some news coming in. This would be a news of typically to do with finances or jobs. And I do feel that this is you wanting to sort of branch out, you get out, get or move on to something else. And so that's what the Knave is here to do, right? It's to offer new paths. It's to offer new activities, these new things. It's a card that speaks of aspirations. And then the Chariot card comes in, and it's a victory card. So, in the Major Arcana, the Chariot is all about forward movement, right? And on this particular card, the Chariot is represented by the twins, right? This is the Iberigi. These are the twins. And it's sort of the light and the dark, right? It's the twins. It's this yin-yang sort of energy. And so, it's all about the dualities of the shadow and reflection, the body and the soul, right? Which again goes back here to this shadow aspects that need to be brought to the surface. And then we had the reflection here, right? The reflection of as above, so below. So, and it's a card of movement, right? The Chariot card is all about travel, and forward movement and success. So I do feel that this has something to do with forward movement, possibly, near water. I mean, I see the Magician is right here by water. He's by the sea, right? We have the Queen of Water that I mentioned. I said how this card, usually he's pictured by water. We have the iceberg over here. So there could be some type of travel or movement towards or by or over water. And then the Nine of Wands card comes in, and usually this card speaks of, it's like one last obstacle, one last thing that you have to face before you can, get to the Ten of Wands, which is the ending. So it's a card that speaks of, some type of wait, some type of pause, maybe a delay in something, a setback. There's some type of setback here to this movement. So I do feel that there is something tied to news of, expansive energy to do with possibly a new job or finance. There is movement coming in, and victory, forward movement. You have everything you need to get to this place. But first, right, there's a minor setback. There's something that needs to be done, some type of release that needs to happen, possibly, doing some soul searching here, taking an honest look at, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy attachments, that sort of shadow side of ourselves, which isn't always to do, right? It's not always easy to do, to take a look at those aspects of ourselves, but it's important. It's important for us to reach whatever this victory is. And there's definitely a victory coming in. And I mean, I keep going back to this, you have everything you need, and there's a lot of positive energy surrounding you, but there's something that needs to be released, need to let go of. So possibly some soul searching going on during this weekend, I think. I do hope that the messages have helped you in some way. I thank you very much for joining me here today. Look forward to reading for you again, and just know that I'm sending you all much peace, love, and light. Bye.